So how much fun did we have this weekend? Well, I'm actually just joking because some of us got absolutely slapped around. I bought that first big dip and then I was like that meme that says I bought the dip and it kept dipping and I was holding my cup. And yeah, we really got rinsed out on that war news, but we hit some massive levels on some of these altcoins. And I'm thinking that might be the bottom of the altcoin move. This might be the reset that we needed in the market before we could start sending things higher. So we've got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to show you these altcoins. They've hit massive levels. We're obviously talking about RWAs like ONDO. I've got gaming. I've got AI for you. I've got meme tokens. I've got a full Bitcoin breakdown. So let's get right into this. And just like that, Banter Bubbles is green again, but we've actually had a massive, massive recovery. Now, this weekend, if you were watching what was going on, there was a little bit of, scare tactics with the war situation. There were rockets and drones getting fired that everybody thought Israel was going to be invading Iran and all this drama, and the alts just kept banging down and banging down and banging down, and they absolutely obliterated everybody who was trying to get long in some of those altcoins, especially the leverage traders. But if you just take a zoomed out and you take a bigger picture look at it, I'm going to show you some of these huge areas that these altcoins have hit. We've done a reset on some of them to October 23 levels, some of them even before that. It's a massive reset in the market, and I think it's just what we needed to get the next phase of this bull run running. And these altcoins, they were hot. We understand they were hot, but now we can see the size of the recovery that we've had on these altcoins tells me that might have been the bottom of the move. So just looking at Banter Bubbles here today. Now, I've been on a plane. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I'm no longer in my mother's basement here. I'm actually sitting in Dubai at the moment. We got a conference here, so the Banter team is here. And while I was on the plane, this market started absolutely ripping. And I didn't get my hands on too many extra leverage trades. But we can see things like Core is up 40%, Beam 19, ETH is doing well again, and ONDO, that was amazing performance on ONDO. We saw ONDO moving down 50%, up 50% a couple of times during the weekend. So big RWA narrative there for ONDO. Let's take a look right now where we are with BTC and what is my current plan. Well, I stepped off the plane and all these situations were green. They were bright green. And I've jumped into the charts now trying to understand where we are and where we can potentially reject right now for BTC. So what I'm looking at the moment is this little resistance area. So we're going to watch this one closely. I'll tell you why. This is quite a hot zone here, the 66,800. We've got the 50-day MA here in front of us. We've got horizontals as well. So it is quite a tough cookie here. This is quite a tough level for us to try and break through. And, for me, my current view now is pullbacks are for buying, especially on some of these altcoins. I don't think we're going to go and visit some of those lows again. We might have BTC pushing lower, but we're going to see how dominance is going to play that game with us for some of these altcoins. But right now, resistance for me, BTC 66,800, pullbacks for buying that I'm very interested in. I'm looking at 64,782 and I'm looking at 62,300. So those are my big areas that I'm watching today. What do the bulls want to see? Well, the bulls, easy game here. We're looking at this next resistance zone. So if we get a little pop here, we're going to look for some support. And then we are approaching that fun line. And this is going to be a huge fun line. This is going to be a major, major one for us, especially with the latest ETF news coming out of Hong Kong as well. I believe this ETF has now been approved. So that could add a little bit of sauce to some of the bears now that are starting to try and short at these current levels. So this is my current trade that I've got going on at the moment. And I'm trading at the moment in MEXC. You can see I'm long 1 Bitcoin. So after that dump on when was it? Saturday, I jumped into a portion of a Bitcoin and then I added to it on some strength there. So now you can see this position is now it's sitting okay. And we are at a resistance zone. So now I got to decide, am I going to TP here on BTC? And here's my current ETH situation. So no changes to ETH. Still holding my ETH position. I am looking for a lot bigger and a lot better on ETH at the moment. So I'm going to make a call now with BTC if I'm going to take profit here. I'm just going to watch how the market's going to play out now over the next couple of hours. We still got the US market that needs to open. And considering all the drama we had I would assume we're going to get some kind of volatility there in that S&P. So we'll keep our eyes focused on that. And then the funding heat rate, Mac. This thing is completely reset. Okay, so this is bullish for us. This is looking good. And again, just adding fuel to what I'm saying here about pullbacks for me. Are for buying in the current situation. So here's our breaking news. China Asset Management, Bosera Capital, Hashkey Capital Limited, they announced their applications for BTC and Ethereum spot ETFs have been approved. Okay, how quiet has everybody been about this? I would have thought crypto Twitter would be shouting the roof down all over the place. This thing has really just crept through nice and slowly, but I like the fact that they've got Bitcoin and ETH in the mix there as well. So that could be really, really bullish. And we shouldn't underestimate the type of money that we could get put in from that part of the world. So, you know, just some bull source there coming at the right time, I would say, for us. And this was a post that I made yesterday on my Twitter account. Follow me at the Lord of Entry. And I was just talking about the sell-off and how we've reset prices. And unrealized profits are at their lowest since early February. Okay, so it's exactly what this market needed in this current condition. And, you know, as much as we didn't like it and as much as we got slapped around, and myself included, I lost 2 trading accounts in that pullback. And, you know, as much as we don't like it, I think longer term, this is going to be a much better play for us. Okay, and here's something from IT Tech. He says, Bitcoin's aggregated funding rates have turned negative. What impact does this have on the market? Basically, he's saying, short squeeze coming, well, in his view, potential short squeeze on its way. And you know what that means for BTC. We're talking big candles, big moves, while everyone's trying to get smart and everybody is trying to short it. Okay, and just something interesting here on the dominance. Now, I've been going on about dominance with you guys for months, and we've been watching this dominance weekly chart for ages and ages. We've been watching it in this tight little range here, and finally we got the move we wanted. Remember, I said there were 2 options. Number one, we reject at this current weekly region and send the alts down, and send the alts up with that rejection, or BTC is going to pop, or BTC dominance is going to pop, and it's going to react at our next major reaction zone. And this was this 57%er for me. And you can see why this has always been a big region for me. It's a major weekly level for dominance. So I was confident every time that we reach this region, we were going to get some kind of rejection on this dominance. And when we get a massive dominance rejection, what does that do? It feeds the alts. It gives the alts fuel, and these alts start moving. And when we saw dominance this weekend pushing into that major resistance area, and we saw these altcoins dropping onto these guard mode entry levels, which I'm going to talk to you about shortly, it was just a sign that we were going to get some kind of massive reversal on these altcoins. And we've noted that some of them have bounced up to 60% that we have seen. So we're going to talk more about that now. And then here is total 2. So this is the crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. And we've had a nice little reset, but a nice little bounce. Look what it's done. Typical move onto a weekly 3.8 fib pool, so a 3.82 fib pool. So nice little area that it's come to ping here, nice little region here on the weeklies, and a strong bounce for me. So telling me that was maybe the bottom of this little reset that we needed for some of these altcoins. So what do I want to see now? Well, we could easily just see a little bit of rangy things going on here until we break this trend. But for me, that is the bottom is in on this move. If this bull run's going to continue, I personally want to see this 382 level hold here on total 2, and you're going to see corresponding alts here. They want to hold their 618s, their 786s that they have pulled into now after that huge move. Let's take a look at ETH. Okay, so here's a nice one for ETH, and now a little bit of extra fuel for ETH now with this talk in Hong Kong as well. But look what ETH came down and tested, just the way we saw that total 2 come down and test the 382. ETH just basically mirrored that move, came down, pinged the 382 fib for us on the weekly, and the number was 2,800 on the button. Okay, so for me, that's a low marker now for ETH. I don't want to see I don't want to see that low again. If we have to, they can give us some kind of double bottom there that I'm prepared to look at, but I don't want to see much lower than 2.8 now for ETH. And what am I watching now? If I'm trading ETH, what do I want to see at the moment? What are my main levels? So you can see here, this level hasn't changed. This 3,050. They've come up here and they've reclaimed 3,050 for us. So watch that area now. That is your market that you want to keep your eyes on, 3,050. And when do we turn super bullish again? Well, number one, we need to blow this 3,350. You can see we've got some horizontals in the way and we've got a trend in the way. So what do I want to see? I want to see a pop higher here and then reclaim this region, the 3,350, and then we can be super bullish on ETH. Then you're going to see me adding more to that current ETH position that I'm in, because I want to see that trend break and acknowledge that maybe now the trend is broken and we're going to be pushing on. So I'm going to hold that ETH position that I'm in. I want to see the trend break, and then we're going to add to that thing. Now, notable, what we need to watch carefully today is the S&P. Now, it hasn't opened yet. And, this is the ES1 mini futures. So, it sometimes gives you a guide with, about a couple of things here. But so far, pretty stable, because basically it was like, we're going to be fighting. And then we were like, we are totally going to be fighting. And then we're like, we're fighting, but we're fighting less. And then we're going to do this rather. And then I'm going to hit you here and whatever. But anyway, these guys basically everything just seemed to fizzle out. After what we were thinking at some point, we were getting World War III. They were talking nukes. They were talking all sorts of things. And now it's just throwing handbags at each other and slapping each other around with a glove, basically. So, am I wrong? Little bit of handbags on the weekend just to reset the market, bro. I mean, isn't that is that the normal play, right? Couple of handbags, you hit with handbags, it doesn't hurt so bad. How's my people in the chats here? I've just been going on and on here and I haven't said hello to anybody. Luba, I see Luba's in the chats, but I know Luba's in Dubai. Luba, look what's behind me. I'm actually in Dubai. I'm not in a basement. Let's see. Well, Ben is here. Ben says, hello, Banter fam. John is here. He says Beam. He likes Beam to 1. Okay, nice one. Sparkman says Dylan in Dubai. Well spotted. I don't know what gave it away. Maybe it was my hat. Let's see. Michael Funfeen says no drinks in Dubai. Yes, Luba is in Dubai tomorrow. Joe says, let's go. Matt's in the house as well. Okay, so you guys see what's happening here in the back. I came straight off the plane, okay, set up. You must see my hotel room. I brought screens. I bought everything. Jumped off the plane, couldn't believe this market, and had to get into this and start talking to you guys and show you what is going on out there and tell you my plans. Okay, let's look at the next banger. How's this banger? Okay, so this is gold. So the signs were there last week. Okay, if you were following the macro news and things last week, we saw oil starting moving. We saw gold started pumping, all these types of things. The signs were there that there was going to be something, some funny business this weekend. And again, it's I'm not one to panic too much. And it's difficult to always call how big a situation is going to be, but I think the signs were there with the way this gold was moving and things like that. But what I wanted to show you here, just out of interest, if you are looking at gold now, gold on the weekly, I just wanted to highlight a couple of times gold, that the weekly RSI on gold has pinged the top, and what happened after it's pinged these highs. So you can see we hit this region here in August 2019, and we had a nice little drawdown in gold. Here we are again. We in July 2020. What did we do? We pinged these highs. We had a nice little drawdown in gold. What did they do again? They peaked the RSI. What did we do? Nice little drawdown. And look where we are at the moment with gold. Do I think this gold long trade is over? Potentially. I think it's now some of the steam is going to be coming out of this gold situation. This RSI on the weekly, to see a weekly RSI this high is pretty hectic. And you don't get it that often. You see when this happens. It happens, looks like every 2 years, you get a weekly RSI at these type of levels. And the warning signs are there. So if you are trying to long gold at the moment, I would just say take it easy now. The long trade for gold was a little bit lower down. Probably a week ago, 2 weeks ago, was probably your best mover. But right now, I'd say gold is running out of steam. Is that a sign that, these war things are going to start calming down? Okay, and then this was me on Saturday. Okay, we were having this absolute meltdown in the markets. I didn't have my Mac with me. All I had was my phone, and I was watching these candles melt down, watching getting rinsed out, absolute mess. And I started pulling out my 618s and my levels and things like that. And then I tweeted this at around about that time, and this is when I started buying and adding to margin positions on some of my altcoins. And here's a list of some of the ones that I was buying. And there were definitely mixed comments in the chat. And I found this guy quite salty. This guy, Crypto88, he says, what you smoking, bro? Ahead of a possible escalation of war in the Middle East. So I just said to him, look, I'm smoking the DCA entry peace pipe, because when I see levels like this and I see entries like this, you can't not engage in these altcoins. You can't not have a stab. And, if you had a go at some of these altcoins, I've highlighted them now for you. We're going to look at some of these movers here. But an example, okay, Render at $6. That was on Saturday. Where is Render sitting right now? Okay, 50% up. Render is sitting at 9.3. Okay, now I don't know, maybe this guy didn't buy Render at $6. Maybe he's thinking now he's going to buy the next dip. I don't know. But when you get an opportunity for a move like that, you've got to really zoom out. You've got to look at what areas you're hitting, and are you being reasonable? Are you being rational if you're looking at buys in those type of areas? And Render at 6 was just absolutely too good to be true. So what is my current plan now for Render? What do I want to do at the moment? So you can see what's happened. Render's just climbed the stairs now this weekend after all that drama. And what you need to do now, if you're trading Render or you're looking for positions in Render, you need to start working out what are your levels now? What are your immediate areas that you can work with, that you can use as support now if you want to start buying pullbacks, or if you want to start DCAing or getting involved in some of these altcoins again, because we may not see these bottoms again. I'm not saying we're not going to test these levels. I'm not saying we're not going to come back and try and close out some of these wicks, but there's a very good chance we're not going to visit 6 again for Render anytime soon. Maybe in a couple of years in the next bear market we could be there, but potentially for this current move we might be seeing a little bit more now out of these altcoins. So what is my plan for Render? What am I watching at the moment? I would say your safest zone here is going to be 8.8. okay, so this is your area number 1 that you want to pay attention to, 8.8, and area number 2 you want to be watching is 8 on the button. So 8.8 and 8 for me are scalper zones. These are areas where you're going to look to maybe add to your positions. These are areas you want to look for little buys and scalper moves and things like that, and see if you can start building little positions now in these type of tokens. So that's what I would be looking for if I were you. I'd be looking for scalps off moves into these regions. What do we do if things turn super bullish? Well, I think it's pretty clear, and we don't even have to draw pictures for this one. We can actually see how this is going to potentially play out. If things turn bullish now, we're going to get some kind of pop, and we're going to look for a rejection at this horizontal region, and then we're going to look for that retest, and then we're going to get our buy on Render. So either now for the bulls, you're waiting for a pullback now, or you want to see a bigger push now, and then you want to see it come back and just settle on a nice little piece of horizontal and trend there for us, and then this Render trade is on. Because remember, this is the fun line. This fun line started at the highs in March, and it's coming down all the way here. And remember, this is a downtrend. It's telling us we're not having as much fun as we could be having. So once we break the fun line, then the new set of fun starts kicking in. And just be patient here. So eyes on this fun line, and if you want to nibble, you know what to do now. You want to buy on some of these lows. Okay, the next one I was talking about was Injective, and we had Injective at 18. Look at this, unreal. That Injective has come back. Look what it pinged. Okay, zoom out. What did Injective hit? A nice thick horizontal band for us here. And what size bounce? What type of bounce did it give us? Gave us a 50% bounce off those levels. Okay, so nice little reaction zone, nice little area to be buying. And what is my current plan for Injective? Well, it's quite simple at the moment. What I've said here, and this is, I dished this one out on Sniper Club yesterday as well. So Sniper Club members, I dropped a whole ton of charts for you. I probably did 30 charts for the Sniper Club members yesterday before I jumped on the plane. And this was my plan for Injective. So any strength for Injective, you can see we're going to have a bit of a problem higher up here. If we move into this trend region, I would say that is going to be a TP zone. That's going to be an area of interest there for the bears. The bears are going to be looking for potential shorts in that region, and the bulls are going to then be waiting for some kind of pullback. So again, if you are shorting Injective at a resistance zone, it doesn't mean you are turning bearish now. You're looking for new lows, or specifically me, I'm looking for higher lows on any pullbacks, but there could be a nice little region here for the bears at around about 29.30 if you want to pick up some kind of short there, or if you want to TP in your longs, that is an area to watch. And then a pullback zone for me for Injective, anything down to 23 is quite nice for me. Anything down to 23 is quite reasonable after a 50% pump. Nothing wrong with a little bullish pullback there for us. So I would watch very closely 23, and I would watch 30. These are the two hot zones that you want to pay attention to on Injective. Ray, do we have to talk about Celestia? Because that thing bounced like I've never seen.
Yeah.
It's offensive. It's offensive.
The tokenomics suck, but like as a trade, it's a good trade.
Absolutely offensive, that Celestia. After we'd pretty much given up on Celestia, that thing just absolutely ripped. Okay, the next one that we spoke about was AVAX. Look at AVAX. I mean, this was dreamy. So AVAX, I gave you guys this DCA long setup on the show during last week. And I said, you're looking at these areas, and these are hot zones for me. These are zones where you're looking to buy, you're looking to add to your positions, and these type of things. And I basically said, I think I said you got to sell the dog, or you got to sell the wife if we get down here to this 30 region. I'm pretty sure I mentioned selling dogs or animals or something along those lines. Am I right? I mentioned something like that. And I mean, when we saw AVAX hit, when AVAX hit 30, okay, the 618 fib on the button. Okay, this is the huge pull from the absolute lows on September, the absolute low September 23 to the highs. Okay, 618 on the button. You're going to see this on so many altcoins. We're talking Link, Filecoin, Dot, all these tokens. They all pinged major fibs in these regions. And AVAX for me, that was just beautiful. On 30, that was a buy for me. And what is my current plan now for AVAX? Well, if you're looking at it from this perspective and you're looking at it from the weekly, what you can do is start looking at your corresponding horizontal support. So what I would suggest here, watch this current weekly low and watch these two wicks just underneath here. These should be giving you some kind of support here in this region. So levels that I would suggest watching now for AVAX, and I'm talking bullish pullback zones. I'm talking areas where you could look to add to your position on any pullbacks. You're looking for something along these lines. That is 35 I like, and I like 33.8, 35, 33.8. And then obviously we've got the lows again. If they want to come back and they want to do a double bottom and they really want to make us feel some pain, okay, we can't say it's never going to happen. Remember, in crypto, we can never say never in crypto. If they do want to come and do this, I would say that is also going to be for buying one more time. I'm going to say any double bottom here, any opportunity down there for me is going to be a buy zone and a buy opportunity. Okay, what was the other one we had there? Here's another banger. Phantom. I mean, this was epic. Look at this thing. And another 618 ping. So sweating out. What did it do? Comes down, 618, bang, on the 618, weekly in play as well for us. And that was also a potential sell the dog, sell the hamster level for Phantom. And if you zoom out, it actually looks totally reasonable. There's nothing too offensive about this. We've got a trend break, and now we've come back and we've retested a nice little area here for Phantom. So big level now in play for Phantom. If you are trading Phantom, what do you want to watch? Your huge area, 0.566. Okay, that is your support marker. And as long as we're sitting up here, you're going to find this 200-day MA is also going to start drifting up here and start offering some extra support for you as well. So a massive marker here for me for Phantom, 0.56 to 0.58. And for me, any pullbacks down into this area, for me, adding to spots, DCA type things, you want to buy on the weakness. You don't want to buy the pumps. But if you get these pullbacks and with all this bullish news, Hong Kong ETFs, halving business, all these types of things happening, I would say spot buys, DCA buys, anything on weakness down into these areas should make you happy, could make you happy. Okay, here's another one. This was also beautiful. AAVE, look at this perfection. And I mean, these candles were absolutely horrific, guys. It was absolute torture watching this bleed out. I felt the burn with you guys. I felt the pain. I was thinking about all of you guys who watched my show. I was thinking about Ray. I was thinking about everyone in Sniper Club. I was just like, I was terribly worried about you guys. And, I mean, my accounts were getting rinsed out while this was happening. And I thought, fuck, you don't get an event like this that often. And when you look at this candle, when was the last time we got a candle like this in the market? I mean, this move on AAVE alone was a 47% dump. Okay, last week that they gave us. When last did we see something like that? Well, we had it here. We had 50% in June 22. Okay, so it doesn't happen often, okay, but we need to understand it does happen in crypto. These things, these events do happen. These things can happen at any time. And if there's ever a lesson, one more time, and OG Craig says it so well, take your profits before someone else takes them for you. And you can't, you know, if you live by that lesson from Craig, you're going to do a lot better. And I mean, you guys know, you were watching me on Prime XBT. I was sitting in a Solana long. I think at one point it was $15,000 up, and that thing got flushed out. And, you know, now I've had to start again on that Prime XBT. And, you know, another lesson, take your profits before somebody else does. It's part of the game. And remember, crypto can just kill you in 1 second. So it's up the stairs. What do they say? Up the stairs and down the escalator just as quickly. And these things always happen fast. And what do they say? They happen slowly, and then all of a sudden it's happening. And there's nothing you can do about it. Anyway, here we go. So AAVE, 786 and weekly. I'm loving this level here. So 72, that was a buy zone for me. That is where I added to my AAVE position, a little bit higher. I mean, it had already started bouncing, so more like 74. And then the next big zone for me that I would say you're going to keep your eyes on now, support level that you want to watch, 83.5. Any move for me into 83.5 looks like a nice little horizontal buy area for me. Nice little zone here. We've got confluence in that region. So watch this guy, 84.5. Nice little guy there for a little bit of a long. And if they are going to bleed you lower, just look at this as an opportunity and look at it as a gift. From this market. If this market's going to stay bullish, we've got this halving. There's multiple reasons why things could start churning higher. If you get another bite at some of these altcoins, I'd say DCA zones for you guys all day long down to these lows. Okay, another banger that we had was Link. Again, 618 perfection for Link. Look at the size of this bounce. So Link, where was Link sitting? It was back at $12. Okay, when I tweeted that. And if you guys were grabbing it on those levels, look at this thing. It is now 21% up. Okay, it's Link. Not that exciting. 21%. I was hoping for a little bit more. But what an absolute move. And again, another lesson for having a 618 fib, a 382 fib, a 786 fib, all pulled from the absolute lows. Look at these lows here. You pull from the lows to the highs, and they give you your strongest levels. And these things react for you. And when they tie in with weekly levels, you also know you get added confluence. You know these areas are big. You know these areas are strong. And you're going to get good bounces here. So Link, massive area now, 11.8. This is huge that you want to be watching. And then I have put in a little scalper setup for you guys. So you're going to have a lot of your own tokens that you are trading at the moment. A lot of them have had a big bounce off major levels now. And you're sitting there scratching your head saying, well, how do I go about this now? This thing has bounced 30%. I can't enter this thing now. So what you can do is I've given you a structure here. I've created a little 1 hour scalper setup here for Link, and you can apply this to your same tokens that you are trading. So it doesn't have to specifically be just on Link, but you can see what happens here. I've banged in a little trend line and this rising trend. So I want to track momentum. So for me, the first thing I want to see is this thing climbing a trend? Are we above the fun line? And as long as we're above this rising trend, then we know that this trend is up. So bulls are looking for this trend to continue. Okay, and that's what we're watching. And where do we find areas where it's going to bounce? Well, it's quite simple. I just pull fibs and I try and tie in horizontal. So you can see this first bounce move. Once you get the high in play, you can then pull your fib. And you can see we had a little reaction off a 382 here. Then your next fib move, you can pull it from this low to the next high. And you can see what they're going to give you here. Look, they gave you a 618, a little 618 bounce. Okay, and that's given us our trend that we can play with. And then you can pull the fib again, look for that retracement again on trend and horizontal. Look what they gave us here, 13.7. So you can see how I just go about this. You can create a little scalper setup for yourself and start riding these things up. And, big levels that you want to watch. I've highlighted this one as quite a big one now, because we've got resistance here, we've got support in play, and we've got this trend and 618 in play. So for me, 13.7, okay, is a nice juicy level for Link. If you want to look at Link on this bigger time frame here and look at this weekly candle low, you can see it ties in with this 13.7 here. We've got other wicks in play in this region as well. So then we zoom in back to this guy, and you can see this is our 13.7 level. So any pullbacks from me onto 13.7 looks like a nice little area, looks like a nice little buy zone for this for any link moves lower. So bulls, what you want to watch, you want to look for these type of moves. If link does decide to lose this trend, you're looking for buys here. You're looking for that trigger to send that one higher. So 13.7 is your scalper zone. And then resistance areas to watch. You can see what's going on here in front of me. I don't even need to highlight it that much for you guys. But we've got the 200-day moving average pushing right here into this resistance band. So be careful up here for link. 15.13, 15.14. This is resistance for you now. So if we do push into this area, look for the rejection, look for a reaction there. And once we've reclaimed this level, then we can get super bullish again for link and start riding it to the next area. And the next area for link is then going to be 17. So move number one, let's get through 15, 15.2. Move number two, let's get to 17. But that's how we're going to play it. That's the strategy there. I see IX says he kind of feel robbed after the weekend. Guys, it was brutal out there. Ray got smashed. I got smashed. Like anyone who was trading leverage. Okay, even the guys that were trying to short got smashed because these bounces in between. Then everyone thought the bottom was in, Ray. And then they went again, bro. It was
definitely nasty.
But we traders. We get back on that horse, but we go again. Okay, I've got. I see you guys in the chats asking about resistance dog. Well, look at this thing. Okay, this thing has been a #1 performer. Now remember, I brought this resistance dog to you guys somewhere down here. Okay, I think it was a 30 million market cap. I think. Okay, it's now sitting at a $98 million market cap. What is resistance dog? It's the first dog on the TON network. Everyone's going on about the TON network. They're doing palm reading instead of eyeball reading like WorldCoin. They're talking 500 million users by 2028. And the guys are going crazy for the first meme dog on TON. So if you like the idea of a dog on the TON network, this is Redo Dog. And it's a bit of a story to buy him, but you need to buy the TON tokens. I normally buy them on MEXC. Then you can send them to your TON Keeper wallet, and then you can swap them to this Redo Dog on your TON wallet on your phone. Okay, if you're using a browser, you can do it on StoneFi. That is what they're using at the moment. So nice little flag break here for Redo. And looking okay, looking good, actually, looking incredibly bullish. Watch these horizontals now. If you are trading Redo, watch this nice little horizontal at 95. Okay, there's a nice little area. Could be a nice little buy zone for you now, actually. And then a little bit lower down, we've got 87 coming into play for you as well. So watch 95 and watch 87. Could be nice little buy zones for you guys there. Okay, I've got some other stuff for you guys. I just wanted to bang through a couple of the regulars, and also we want to deal with ONDO as well, because that's been a huge performer for us. But this is Stacks, and if you zoom out on Stacks, you can see what it's done. While this meltdown was happening, you could have identified a potential zone where it was going to bounce, and 2 was the level for Stacks. I mean, look at the size of this recovery as well after that meltdown. I mean, look how they just bounced this thing up here, 38%. Okay, as if nothing happened, Ray. Nothing happened. The biggest insult in history, isn't it?
Man, a lot of these things bounce like nothing happened over the weekend. Like, I understand that one comment, like it feels like we got robbed. Definitely, because everything's going back.
I mean, this is and this brings me to this point here. I mean, I posted this tweet on the weekend. This ONDO situation. Okay, I mean, I said here's ONDO on the 1 hour showing you benefits of holding spot during a move like this. Okay, 35% dump, 52% pump, 28% dump, 39% pump. This all happened in the space of 24 hours or something. I mean, it was absolutely brutal. But if you were trading spot and you went to play golf and you didn't even know about it, you would have come back and you would have been at the same place you were without knowing anything. If you were trading high leverage, well, you would have been liquidated probably 2 or 3 times, because this is absolutely brutal. To get moves like that in 24 hours, it's I wouldn't say it's untradeable, but it's pretty intense. It's pretty dark. It's pretty dark condition. Okay, here is ONDO for you guys right now. So this is ONDO on the 4 hour that I'm watching, and what you need to do now is look for key pullback areas. Okay, so ONDO has been a very fast mover. As you can see, that tweet of mine that I was showing you was this region over here. Okay, all this drama that you saw in that zone. That is that tweet that I was showing you on the 1 hour. So quite a fast mover now for ONDO, but nothing to really sweat about. If you're sitting in ONDO, you're looking good at the moment. So your first horizontal that you're going to play with now is 0.93. Then you've got a nice little area a little bit lower down, okay, that you want to pay attention to. 0.9. Okay, so 0.9 looks fun as well. And then the big one, the big solid zone for you that you want to really now watch. This was resistance. Okay, this was resistance from the 2nd of April. Every time it came up here, it rejected, it rejected, it rejected. Okay, finally, it's broken through. What did they do? They broke up, they came back, they retested this region. So now we've confirmed 0.85 as your major support for ONDO. So watch 0.85. This is your big level. If you get ONDO at 0.85, for me, that is a buy opportunity. For me, that is a DCA level. That is where you want to be adding, and you can see how that would tie in to the previous support that it was giving you before. So watch this level, 0.85, and then I've given you 2 others that you can work with there if you're trying to build a position. And you can see right now, ONDO is actually trying to react off this tiny 382 pool, and it is tied in with some horizontal. So keep your eyes on this 94, watch 90, and then the big one for me, 85. Watch 85. That's the big one. Okay, another performer here, Fetch.AI token, and again, good recovery from AI. And I think once the market realizes that we are moving ahead, we're going to see these AI tokens start moving properly again. So 50% bounce for Fetch. Did it hit a beautiful area? No, it actually didn't. The first move, it pinged a lovely zone. Look at that. This was perfection. And, you can't be blamed for getting excited and calling that the bottom of the move, a nice little recovery. And then all the war stories started, and they started sending us lower. So Fetch has been a tricky one, but at least you've got some levels that you can play with now. So a big area that you want to watch for Fetch, look at this nice little zone here. It's tied in juicily into this region. So Fetch, main support for Fetch, if you're looking for buys, 2.2, and then a little bit lower down, we're going to pull some fibs here, but I would say watch this 2.2. Any move into that, for me, looks juicy. 2.2 for Fetch, use that as support. If you start losing that area, maybe we are going to be looking at some lower levels. And let's just pull a main fib here from the high to the low. Let's just get an idea where some of these levels are sitting. Okay, and there they are. So watch 2.08 and watch 1.9. 2.08, 1.9. Watch those areas. My preferred zone for a short-term pullback now, 2.2. If we get that today off this US market, let's say the US market opens a little bit red, give us some entries there, and then we can start moving. So I like this guy at 2.2. Okay, I'm just reading the chats. Yeah, there's a question for Dupe. What do I have left here? I've got 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 for you, and again, Tower. This is Tower. Nice reaction again on that pullback. What did we do? 618 fib, bang, onto the 618. We've got horizontals in play as well, and that is now a nice low marker for us for 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. I don't want to see lower than that. You can see this is our rising trend as well. This is our bull line. This is our fun line. So as long as we're keeping this trend in play, we are bullish on 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. So watch these lows now. At this 410 level, that is huge. And then pullback areas, quite simple. You want to pull your fib from the low to the high, and you want to start identifying some areas where you can get a reaction, where you can get a scalp now if you're looking for entries, and you can start looking at flags and all these things. So let's dial in here on the 1 hour and just see what type of picture they are giving us. Okay, let's pull a fib here and just let's try and build a little scalper zone here for you guys. Okay, there's your 382. Okay, tied in with horizontals. Okay, you got a little horizontal there, so watch that area there. We've got a little trend as well. Okay, so this could be fun. So you can trade this guy. What you want to do is you want to wait for the trend break, and or you want to wait for the move lower onto a nice little horizontal. So if you get something along these lines, you're going to nibble at that area, and then you're looking for that a trend break in that region. If they're going to bleed you lower, what do? You nibble in that zone over there, that 618, and then you're looking for that trend break there and that bigger push higher. So play the game nicely. You can scalp. It's very simple to build a little scalper setup. Very easy thing to do. You bang out your trend and you bring out your big horizontals in that time frame, and you can work on those together and play in those areas. And once you get that trend break, then you can always start adding to your positions and start increasing the size. Okay, one more is TON. We've seen a lot of strength on TON, and it basically just brushed off that dip. It was brutal, and I mean, they felt this thing everywhere. But what did we do? We dropped 30%, 31%, and what did they give us back? They gave us a 40% thank you very much pump back. So TON for me still looking bullish. Redemption Dog still looking bullish on the TON network, and you can see we've got a trend in play now. And what you're going to do is you're going to just watch your levels. You're going to watch your big support levels. And for me, this is number one, 6.1. Watch 6.1. That's a big area for me. And another juicy zone, 5.3. So 6.1 and 5.3. These are your zones that you want to pay attention to. These guys, pullbacks into these areas for me. You want to look for scalps. You want to look for buys there in those type of regions. Okay, I'm looking, and I've got 𝗪𝗘𝗅 for you guys as well. And yeah, so 𝗪𝗘𝗅, you guys know the deal now with 𝗪𝗘𝗅. I brought it to you guys at probably $3 million market cap or whatever it is. It's now $74 million. There's big things happening there, and I've started charting it regularly now because I'm watching this thing closely. And remember, buy these things on weakness. Buy them when you get red candles. You know, the moves on these things are huge. If you just look at this dump that we had the other day, it was a 94% bounce on 𝗪𝗑𝗅. So don't rush into green candles. What I would suggest is you either DCA in slowly over a period of time, or you wait for these dumps, and which you do get. They come often, and then you're going to get yourselves a 30% discount, a 40% discount. And those things. Okay, if it does start breaking the trend, you know that you can play the trend game as well. So just watch this trend. You can see I've banged out a trend here for you guys. Look out for this type of move here out of the trend. Then you can start stiffing around potentially, but ideally keep your eyes on it. Buy weakness. We think this is going to be a huge project with what is happening there at the moment with 𝗪𝗑𝗅. It's no longer just a joke, you know, a joke meme coin. It's actually it's going to be a high alpha news station. So I think there's big things happening there. And then there was a request for I see 𝗔𝗘𝗩𝗢 is in the chats. Okay, so you can catch 𝗔𝗘𝗩𝗢 in Sniper Club as well. He's there in the chat at the moment. I saw one request for 𝗪𝗡𝗡, and I think that was a great one. So I want to actually bring 𝗪𝗡𝗡 up quickly. Let's just get the ticker. Yeah, here's 𝗪𝗡𝗡. Okay, so this one actually performed really nicely for us. Let's just make sure we got the right chart here. I don't know why this one looks there it is. Okay, okay, cool. So this was 𝗪𝗡𝗡. Again, played the game so nicely. We had one of our Sniper Club members was actually had a limit order set for 𝗪𝗡𝗡. I think it was at 23, and you know, at the time when we were looking at it, we thought, shit, this thing is not actually going to go there. And look what it did, just in a dump out. And another reminder in crypto: never say never in crypto. These things come and they surprise you every single time. So if you're trading 𝗪𝗡𝗡, you've had a great bounce now. You bought strength. Okay, if you bought those lows, you bought a strong token, and you really want to buy the tokens that recover quickly. You know, after these dumps. And what I would suggest now for you for 𝗪𝗡𝗡, if you are trading 𝗪𝗡𝗡 right now, your big support that you're going to be playing with now is going to be 25, call it 26 on the button. Watch this 26, and then you can also play around with the current candle lows. Okay, the candle low on the 12-hour is 26.9. All right, so right now 𝗪𝗡𝗡, we are sitting at resistance. We are sitting at trend as well. So you need to just need to understand you are now at a resistance zone. Okay, so if you are buying this now on the 12-hour candle, this is resistance. Okay, what does that mean? It means, well, there's an opportunity for this thing to reject first before it wants to continue its move. If it does want to pop higher, and it does pop up, then you're going to look for that rejection, and then you want to just buy that trend retest when this market is turning bullish again, we're going to be buying that retest at the 29 level. So there's a nice little plan there for you guys on RWeave. Okay, guys, covered it all. I'm exhausted. I've just got off a plane. I'm probably going to go check out the beach now. Some of the banter guys, we'll see what's happening. One eye on the market, obviously. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to bang out a show tomorrow. Sheldon's also going to be back tomorrow with his show, so look out for him. And mine will be a little bit later. But yeah, that's it from me. Catch you guys later.